and thank you for watching Forward, your show exclusively about the College of Education here at Mississippi State. Later, we're going to be talking to two ladies from the MDOT RIDES program, which we have a partnership with here at the College of Ed. And right now, we have Dr. Dan Gatke. Hi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Dan is the director of the Autism Clinic for Disabilities and Developmental Disabilities. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
And I know that you just moved into a brand new facility. Can you discuss a little bit about that, the move and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited. So the last few years we've operated out of the Box building on campus. And we currently see a little over 100 people a week for individual services. So we were outgrowing our space, which was about 4 little rooms. And we were really fortunate to get a donation from the Gertrude Ford Foundation and then garner some support from the administration here. And we moved over to a home on 1219 Blackjack. And we're able to inject some funds into that and renovate the space. And now we have 8 treatment rooms in that location and a full setup for folks. And so now we've moved a lot of the clients over there to get their weekly services.
That's wonderful. And I think we have some pictures of the center actually. So how many students would you say would come through there in just a single day?
Oh, in a single day, that we are open up 8 until 7 at night.
Wow.
So depending on, it's a little busier in the after school hours, but I mean, we'll easily have 20 to 30 folks come through those doors every day just to keep up with the number of people we serve every week. And we also have social skills groups, so sometimes we have individual groups. Those alone will have 6 kids in them. So.
And now the graduate students can actually work with the clients, is that correct?
Yeah, so all of our direct service is provided by our graduate students in the school psychology program here. So they're all working on their specialist degree or their doctorate in school psychology, all between their 2nd and 4th years. And then a bunch of our first year students act as secondaries on cases so they can learn the ropes. And then we have a little over 30 undergraduates that are in the College of Ed that volunteer on cases weekly so they can kind of see what it's like to provide direct services to kids with disabilities.
That's wonderful, and they have just hands-on training. It's a great facility. We were over there a couple days ago taking some pictures, but it's just, you can just feel the interaction between the kids and the graduate students. Is just awesome to see that. And then we also had a special guest a couple weeks ago, House Representative Steve Messengill. Can you discuss the bill that you're working on with him?
Oh, well, yeah, Steve Messengill, in 2015, a bill was passed in the state it was a 2-part bill that allowed for reimbursement for ABA, Applied Behavior Analytic Services for kids with autism, and also formed something called the Mississippi Autism Board, which is the licensing board to provide those services. And Representative Messengill was one of the very first people to introduce that bill, and then it was further spearheaded by Secretary of State Hosemann. So back in 2014, we got to help a little bit with the final editing and putting that through, and it officially passed into law. And so that's really catapulted the autism services throughout the state, which are in dire need, allowing for people that practice applied behavior analysis to get appropriately licensed, to be able to bill insurance, and so for families to also get their needs met, and because it's not always cheap to get all of these services in different places.
Definitely,
yeah.
For sure. Now, with the clients that you have, are they only in Starkville, or do they come from all over Mississippi, or?
That's a great question. So north of Jackson, we're one of the only locations that provide comprehensive pediatric, psychological, behavioral, and academic services to kids. So we have a large portion of our families come right from Starkville, probably 50 to 60. But we have folks that travel from all over the north part of the state. We even had folks that cross over from Alabama and Louisiana to head in to get services, especially for our assessment services as well. We'll have people that might drive 6 hours to get a comprehensive assessment from us. So we serve a wide net of folks from around the state, and we have a wait list that keeps growing. It's hard to keep up with, and so even just looking at that wait list, that net is even wider to where folks are.
That's amazing. So if someone or a family rather was interested in accessing the Autism Clinic and y'all services, is there a particular way that they should go about it?
Yeah, well, I think a really good place to get information about our services is the website. So that's addc.msstate.edu. If you just went to the university website and looked us up, you find it. But they can also always call. It's 662-325-2568. But if families are interested in learning more about services, those are great places to look them up. But it never hurts even just to call, since we have a wait list, and ask your questions to the clinician that'll pick up, and they get families put on wait lists, and we move through those as quickly as we can.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on Forward and discussing the new facilities. We're really excited about it since it's housed in the College of Education.
Yeah.
And if you just want to find out some more information about the Autism Clinic, just please go to that website. And also stay tuned, because we have Linda and Carol from MDOT. They are a coordinator and facilitator of our RIDES program. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
A baby's arrival can be one of the most exciting times in a family's life. It can also be one of the most anxious, especially if the child's development is hindered by medical challenges that create more questions than answers. At Mississippi State University, we're groundbreakers in the study of CHARGE syndrome, a genetic condition that leads to a host of life-threatening birth defects. Our research teams are uncovering breakthroughs in treatment and prevention with a goal of greater understanding that leads to better care. We're also providing crucial support resources for parents and helping physicians around the globe gain awareness so symptoms can be detected and addressed earlier. By engaging in this innovative analysis and therapy, we're not only improving outcomes, we're unlocking brighter futures.
Heard an echo down the well where my heart once hung. Hear my name ringing, ringing when I'm done. Hear my name ringing, hear it ringing. Hear my name ringing.
Welcome back to Forward. Today we have Linda Clifton and Carol Kilo from MDOT. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
And we're so thrilled that you are both alums from the College of Education, both undergrad and graduate. So welcome back to campus.
Thank you.
Can you explain a little bit what you're doing today on campus?
Well, today we have 26 interns from the Department of Education who are going through a RIDES training, which is sponsored by MDOT, and they are getting materials, both manipulatives and lesson plans, to go along with math and science to help them in their new schools.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. And so you both work with the RISE and the TRACK program through MDOT. And I know that the College of Education, we have a partnership with y'all. Can you explain a little bit about what the RISE program does?
Sure. The RISE program was developed to enhance math and science instruction in the state of Mississippi, as well as introduce students to the work world of transportation. So it's a great opportunity for us to share about careers in the transportation industry, but also to improve STEM in our state.
That's wonderful.
So it started in 2004.
Okay.
And we've served over 2,000 teachers in the state of Mississippi at this point. But this is our first time to work with pre-service teachers. So we're really excited about the opportunity, because this is a first for the United States.
That's
pre-service
great.
Training of track and rides with pre-service.
That's wonderful. So here in Mississippi, we're the first state in the United States to have the pre-service portion of this.
That's
wonderful.
correct.
That's
Yes.
great. That's wonderful. Now, when a student, a teacher rather, graduates from this program, I hear that they receive a box of manipulatives. Can you talk about a little bit more about what's in those cases?
Sure. There are all types of math and science manipulatives in the storage trunk, and they take that back to their classroom so that they can do all of the hands-on activities that are in the lesson plans without going out and buying those materials from their pocket.
Because I know that's very difficult for, especially for first-year teachers. They have to purchase their own things. And
That's
so
right.
That's wonderful that they have that value. And so I'm very proud that we have a partnership with y'all. We actually just won an award in Jackson. And I think we have some pictures of that, our actual award from the Partnership and Excellence Award from the Mississippi Association of Partnerships in Education. So that was over in Jackson. And that was just such an honor to win an award with MDOT and everything. That's just been wonderful. And as far as the training, what exactly, like what activities take place like in a training like today?
Well, they are busy from the beginning till the end, and it's all hands-on. They participate with the modeling of the lessons. The trained teachers who are master teachers will demonstrate, discuss, and go over the materials, and then they're divided up into groups, and they will do the different activities using the materials that they would have from their materials box with their students, and then they have competitions and all of that. But they learn by doing. It's all hands-on, and the materials are geared according to grade level, subject level, and all according to the state and national standards.
That's wonderful. So about how many teachers do you think have come through the program since its inception?
It's probably close to 2,500 now.
Wow.
We train every summer, and practicing teachers can apply to come to the trainings. And we send out applications to the principals in the state, and they apply, and we accept until the classes are full. So we train all over the state.
That's great. So if somebody was to be interested in the RIDES program, how would one find out more information about it?
They can go to GoMDOT and go to the Track and Rides program and get an application and submit that to us.
That's wonderful. That's great. And I'm so excited that we have this partnership because I think it's a great, great thing to have. And I've seen some of the projects that everyone has been doing, and lots of STEM going on. I see lots of different science projects and lots of fun things that people can do at home, and you know that's just wonderful. Well, I thank y'all so very much for coming on Forward, and again, just thank you so much for the partnership, and we're just so blessed to be working with y'all. And so thank you again for joining Forward, and we'll see you again next month, and Hail State.